Looking at the new announcement of Lagos State and the ban on plastics, which is generally used for a lot of things as the container for many things, beverages, food, and all of that. First, what are your thoughts on that ban? Do you see it as something that should have not been an outright ban, maybe some time given before the ban?
Well, my response might be kind of biased because as an environmental advocate, it's something that I've been longing for it to happen, you know. And people are saying usually there should have been enough time, but it's something that we've been promoting, even like from the civil society aspect of life in our society. We've been promoting, telling people, please don't use this and don't do that. So if government doesn't come up with these proactive measures, I'm sure we'll keep on just doing advocacy. So it doesn't have to end in advocacy. Policies have to be put in place. There should be people paying for it. You know, I think this ban is mostly focused on the styrofoam. Styrofoam is kind of a very, I think is the most dangerous of all the single-use plastics because like other plastic, like the plastic bottle, the PETs, they take like about 500 to 1,000 years to decompose. But the styrofoam take almost 3,000 to 5,000 years. So for example, you went to Beji, you bought amala of 300 naira and you spend less than 2 minutes to finish the amala. Then you threw the stuff away and it's going to be there for over 3,000 years. Do you know what 3,000 years is about? So, and I think it's very cheap to produce and it's cheap to, you know, use. But then the after effect is something else. It's something else.
When you're trying to explain this styrofoam, you're giving examples. Can you give more descriptive examples? Because when some persons hear styrofoam, they're wondering, what is that? Give examples so people can relate with it and know which is it.
Yeah, so when you go to buy something and you say, put in a takeaway for me, you know, there's one that is like a plate that has a cover, but there's the other one that's light. You know, it's a cork. It's very light, so even if you put it on, just keep it, the wind will come and blow it off. So that is the styrofoam.
The popular takeaway pack.
Yes, the popular, yeah.
Get.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Not the other plates one, the one that is cork.
It looks a bit like foam.
Yes, it's foam. That's why they call it styrofoam. It's a foam. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. As an expert in these, I would like you to paint a picture of the kind of hazards, the environmental hazards this will constitute to the environment, which is part of the concern being exhibited by the Lagos State government. Give us a picture of the kind of hazards this will constitute to our environment.
Okay, so that particular single-use item is for now, it's not recyclable. So that is why it's a no. Others are recyclable, so we try to recycle them, but this particular one is not recyclable. And even if you can recycle it, it will take a lot of money, finances, you know, time to do that. And adding to the long period of time it takes, and the thing is so light, so even if you want to pack, let me say 500 tons to go and recycle, or let me just say a ton to go and recycle, that means you need to fill the whole of this studio before you're able to get it done. So investors will not even want to invest in that kind of project. And you know, like I said, being unable to an item that cannot be recycled, it makes it difficult for us to have a circular economy. Because when you are talking about circular economy, you are talking about something that you can reuse, repurpose, and do other things. But this one, once you use it, there's nothing you can use it again. So it's always there. You go to the waterways. For some of us that we really focus on cleaning up the waterways that are there, people will eat, throw them somewhere, and you know it's very light, so it's easier to be blown away by a little breeze. Water will come, you know, flood will come, or just normal rainwater will flush them into the gutters, and even people are doing it by themselves. After eating, they just throw them inside the gutters and, you know, throw them anywhere inside from the cab, to just throw them, and it will keep flying from here to there.
But is this going to put some persons out of business, the ban?
Of course, there's nothing that will not put some people out of business. But then, you know, that is why if you want to venture into businesses, you should be able to do kind of researches and stuff like that. Because if you are producing something, I'm sure these producers, they know the harmful effects of this stuff. So they know that recently people have been talking about plastic use and why these things are, polluting the environment, and we are putting more focus on all this plastic and stuff. So they have these ideas, they know. So there should have been an exit plan for them. Are they going to maybe start producing the sustainable one? So you understand. So or were they planning to recover this product and work on them? So if they did not have that, then we can't. I mean, the cost, the damage is the effect is more than whatever business benefits will be for these individuals. So that will also enable us to plan and say, okay, what are the alternatives?
All right. I was about going to that, because I've read several comments as regards this issue, and one of the arguments is you don't have an alternative. Why is the Lagos team so much in a hurry to ban, using what they call someone, according to the comment, military approach to just banning, this material. Now, what could be the alternatives for those who have invested in this kind of materials, and for some of the food sellers that you have across the streets? You can always find this across the streets. What could be the alternatives for them?
Yeah, so before the introduction of the styrofoams, were we not eating? Were we not taking food home? So how were we doing? Just that we were looking at something that would be easier and then polluting the environment. For example, you go to buy food. Sometimes you can go to this place and maybe where you are going to buy this food is not even far from your house. So what is stopping you from carrying your own plate along your container? You buy the food and go back to your house, or maybe back to your office. Or you sit down there and eat. Okay, fine.
For instances, you're in transit, you're not that close to your house. What could be the alternative? That could be a challenge, which is why something like this is being generally patronized.
Yeah, so why don't you have maybe small food flask in your backpack? Yeah, you understand?
Ladies can do that.
Ladies can do that, yeah. Maybe I don't it's not that my small bag. Now we can have things around. So it's almost the same thing with water. We drink water here and there. So, that is why you see people who are producing table water or this sachet water, they are not producing the water, they are producing the bottles. You understand? So we call them water bottle producers. You understand? So they are not even charging you really for the water, not the content. They're charging you for the cost of producing those stuff. So it's just that we develop this habit and we feel that okay, it's the right way. You understand? So if you are in transit, you are going to somewhere, you can get something to put your food inside, and it doesn't have to be styrofoam. It doesn't have to be even plastic. As in this thing coming up is even going to help some of us who are innovating in this field, in this environmental field, recycling field, because there are substances that look like plastic, but they are not plastic. These are made from plants. You understand? So there's something coming up like kind of Plantastic. So that is the brand name, Plantastic. So it's not a plastic aspect, but if you see it, if someone doesn't tell this is plastic, you'll not believe. So there are innovative ways to produce even all these single-use containers that are not plastic. Okay.
The reason the Lagos State government is given for the ban of styrofoam is the menace that they contribute to the environment. So banning is one thing. What about the pollution, the menace it has already caused? Is there a plan to clean it up?
Yeah, I think when I also read through one of the statements that the commissioner made, the commissioner for environment made, was that this cleaning up costs tens of millions of naira daily. So so it already causing a lot of havoc, and the government spending a lot of money. Even people in the private sector, like people like us, we are already spending a lot of money to support government to clean up this stuff. So if you don't ban it, that means it's like going to fetch water, trying to empty the ocean. You understand? So you keep cleaning up, and if the more you clean up, people are still. So it's as if you've not done anything. no matter the tons you evacuate in a day, surprisingly, you have even double of that at the end of that same day. So it's as if you are not doing anything. So it doesn't make sense to keep putting money in that kind of thing. There's so a lot of stuff that government can, reinvest the money or rechannel the money, the funds into, you understand, more sustainable projects, you understand. So I know it's already causing a lot of people talking, like you said someone committed a military project. Like when I started, I said there are certain things that should be, we don't have to wait and say we want to be considerate and all that. The government has been considerate enough, and if you check through, these laws have been there. The federal laws have been there, the state laws have been there on these issues, but the issue has always been implementation. You understand? So it's not that it's just today that Lagos government woke up and said, okay, we've banned it. These things have been there, but nobody talked about it, nobody acted upon it. So I think it's a very good thing that it's the Lagos State government that is taking the lead, and we also wish that other states will follow. There's something that like this that happened a few years ago, I think 2020 or 2021. Let me dive a little bit. Charcoal is produced by cutting down trees, and we don't really have trees. We are planting trees, people are cutting down the trees. So national state government banned the production of charcoal. But then even if you go to that same state, people are still producing charcoal in such manner of cutting down trees, and other states too. So when that ban came from national state government, we were happy, we were making news, we were happy that this, but then we were wishing that other states will follow. But even the states that ban it, they're still doing it. So it's, I just hope that, just like the commissioner said, LOMA and other agencies will be able to implement the enforcement of it, so that it will not just be like just a mere word. You should be taken to actions, because I mean it's a global thing. It's a global thing, and it's also even giving Nigeria and indeed Lagos State kind of acknowledgement in the global stage that okay, a state in Nigeria is taking action, so other countries that are, even the producers, because most of these things are imported, we should also be able to know that that means I cannot ship in this stuff from wherever into Nigeria and into Lagos State.
Let's look at what kind of engagement should the Lagos State government begin to have with residents, even those who have invested in this, because it is one thing to ban, it's another thing for people to understand the necessity of this ban. So what kind of education, the kind of engagement would you expect the Lagos State government to have with the citizens so that there will be proper compliance? Okay,
I think some of this engagement has been going on. We always have, because some of them I'm always involved, joining, participating in this. We always have all these kind of awareness on plastic management and stuff. So it might be just to take it to the end users, make it more proactive, communicate to people using the local languages, going to communities, telling them you are giving your children money to go and buy food and take to school. So why don't you give them the food flyers and stuff? Or maybe government can say, okay, we can support by giving you guys food packs. Maybe all these sustainable food packs. So government can do that, And I also know that private enterprises, like organizations, can even take it as just CSR. Okay, we are donating, let's say, 1 million food packs to people, instead of, because you can't just stop them from going to get these things, and these things are very cheap. Sometimes when you go to buy food, the food vendor does not even charge you for the styrofoam, because it's only when you need the other one that they will charge. So people are also relaxed. After, they are not going to wash plates. So if you are giving a full flask, or you're going with your plate to buy this food, after consuming the food, you will still wash plates. But this one, you are not paying for it, and you are not going to wash, to eat and throw it away. So it was easier for people who now became so reluctant and so relaxed. So the government can say, okay, we are supporting you people with these food packs, to use. Go and buy your. But after giving you that, if you still go and use your, you still go and use the styrofoam, then you are on your own. Yeah.
Okay, now you just pointed out that the styrofoams are cheap. The alternative to them, do you see them being as cheap as that?
Yeah, what makes some of this production cheap is the mass production. I am sure, and I can say that even when the first set of the styrofoam were produced, they were not cheap, but because there was demand, and they did a mass production. So let's say they would produce maybe 50 million pieces of it at the same time. So it will not really cost, and it's, you know, automation. They already created this machine too. It's just a mode, so they will have a mode and have, you know, automate the production. So there are other alternatives that are green, sustainable, that can also be affordable and even cheaper. Just for that technology to be automated, you know, it's not going to be cheap to create that product, but when you are mass producing it, and maybe there's what we call carbon credit, there's what we call plastic credit. So these are kind of funds that could be given to companies who are producing greener alternative of all this plastic or trying to recycle plastic. So those plastic credit can be given to companies who are producing the alternative of it. So that funds can help them to automate the mass production, and will make it cheap and affordable, because some of the raw materials are plant-based. So you can use maybe all this grass, weeds, like these plants that grows on the water. That's what I work on personally. It's called water hyacinth. You can use it to produce plates. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So it takes a lot of technology.
Yeah, it will take a lot of technology, but if there are funds for the technology to be replicated, you know, it can now mass produce. So it will be the product will now be cheaper.
Now let's look at the business side to this. That's always of concern to us, you know, because we know a lot of this business owners might likely relocate or change their strategy. But you know, these are opportunities for the ban. They are opportunities for investors. Yeah. Let's look at what are the opportunities available for them, because certain ban or certain trends could be blessings in disguise. So for investors or those who have invested in these materials, what are the opportunities for them? Maybe to diversify or look at other materials they could invest in.
Yeah, okay, so the styrofoam was not initially for making of plates. You know, if you check your freezers, we have them. So there are other items that they are used for, which you can still make money from them. It's just that these people, they wanted quick money and maybe to save a need. Well, it's business to save a need, so they went into the plates production. So they can still produce so many other things that is not single use. So if you have them in your freezers and other stuff that works as an insulator, so you don't, it's not that if they don't produce the plates. If you go to their factory, you see that it's not only the plate they produce. You understand? If you, this food flasks, this colas, those things inside are styrofoams. You understand? So it's not that they started this business. If you go to their factory, like I said, if you go to their factory, it's not that they started the factory just to produce the plates. There are other things they are producing, so they can focus on those ones, and maybe also invest or develop sustainable plate productions too.
All right, now, so for the other types of plastics that have not been banned now, do you think it should be smart for them to begin to look at alternatives before it gets to them?
Now, there's a speculation that in 2050, there will be more plastics in the ocean than fishes. So we've been promoting this, we've been saying it during World Cleanup Day, World Rivers Day, World Ocean Day. We've been talking about it, and nobody is doing anything. But some of these giants producers, you know, they know it, and some of the top polluters, they are trying hard and to, you know, cut down on this pollution. Some of them have made it demanded that maybe certain percentage, 50, 70, 90% of their packages will be recycled. So they try to invest money in the recollection of this waste, and they will recycle them instead of going to produce a new packaging material from scratch. So they are trying to do that, but I think we should do more. And the best thing is to just produce something that can decompose. And it's very possible. It's just that maybe they don't want to, because we also talk about the economics of it, you know. So, but then, if we try to invest money into maybe plastics, eco-friendly plastics, we have plastics that can decompose maybe from the plant-based stuff and stuff like that. So they should invest money in that. They should be smart. They should not wait until there's a ban. They will now start crying, okay, this ban is military tactics and all this stuff. So I think they should be eco-smart and also climate smart to know that eventually it will come to them. But before then, there are things we should do to prevent all these menace.